Your liver busy, so if you eat a lot of food and drink, your liver's so busy processing the alcohol, it can't process the fat, and it just goes to the fat in your body. So I said, oh, okay, I think I'll cut down my drinking too. So I did that. And it got to the point where about 2 years ago, I had this pattern. I wasn't drinking very much at all, but like Sunday, I get done with my services here, and especially if I didn't have a gig, I'd go home, I'd stop at Safeway, and I'd buy a bunch of comfort food, you know, macaroni and cheese, ribs, whatever, and I'd pig out. I'd have some ice cream for dessert, and I'd polish off a bottle of wine, but I kind of nursed it through the day. Well, now this is kind of an example of where intention starts it all rolling. Actually, my being here, I had an intention that I wanted to combine my musical and spiritual lives, and that started like a snowball chain of events happening, and that's why I'm here today. But this is in the physical realm. Around Christmas time, this past December, I did a trade gig at the Moana Surfrider Hotel, and I got 2 free nights over there. So I took a little mini vacation. Man, it was great. When I got done, I had a gig down the road at the Ilikai that night, so I wanted to extend the mini vacation as long as I could. I checked out of the hotel, but then I grabbed one of those rocking chairs on the lanai in front of the Moana where people drive up. I'm sitting there chilling out, just looking around. And all of a sudden, you know, well, I was single then. I'm still single, by the way. But that's another talk. But I was sitting there, and I'm watching all these beautiful women get out of these cars. And then I noticed that all the most beautiful women had these guys with them that were really buff. You could see their muscles, you know, they're really in good shape. I said, I think I'm going to have to ramp up my workouts a little bit. So, you know, it's kind of silly in a way, and I didn't really consciously set an intention, but I think unconsciously that's what I did. Because I left the Moana Surfrider, I went to Ala Moana Shopping Center, I got some lunch, I got a latte, I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear this music coming from down at the center stage, a guitarist and a singer, and I look down and it's this duo that I know really well, but I hadn't seen for a long time. So I sat there upstairs and listened for a while, and then I saw the singer's sister, who I also know who I hadn't seen in a while. So I decided, I went downstairs to where they were. I'm talking to her. All of a sudden, I look at the singer, and I hadn't seen her for a while, and she's wearing this sleeveless dress, and she has these amazing muscles on her arms and shoulders and her legs. I'm like, whoa, what is she doing? So she got done, and I'm like, wow, you look great. What kind of workout are you doing? And a bunch of people came up. I didn't really get a chance for her to tell me exactly what it was, but she did say, I'm doing really short workouts, but they're really intense. So I was dying of curiosity, so I went to her Facebook page, of course. And it said she liked this particular gym. It's called Hard Ass Fitness. That kind of said it right there, you know. So like, okay, so I Googled Hard Ass Fitness. They say they do this workout called Crossfit-brand-x. So I Googled that. And there's a website, there's a couple websites where they give you the workout of the day. So you don't know what you're going to do until the night before. And it's these really varied workouts, and they're real intense, and they're real varied. Anything from powerlifting to running to jumping rope to climbing rope, all kinds of stuff. It's a total variety. And then I found out that a lot of CrossFitters follow the Zone Diet, which was created by Barry Sears, who's a doctor. And so I started on that. And it's kind of like, in a nutshell, it's kind of like you have a meal, you have about a pound size of protein. If you're a vegetarian, it can be soy or whatever. And then the rest of your plate is filled up with carbohydrates, but they're in the form of vegetables and maybe some fruit for dessert. Because grains have a lot of carbs, they're packed with carbs, so I cut way down on those. So I've been doing that program since shortly after that when I saw that singer, you know, the end of December. So it's been roughly 3 months. I've lost like 15 or 20 pounds. I lost 2 inches off my waist. I have tons of energy. I had this Outer Island gig last Tuesday, and one of the flights was canceled, so we arrived about an hour and a half later than we planned. So it was kind of a non-stop thing. Get off the plane, get to the rental car, pick up the rental car, zoom out to the hotel we were playing, do the sound check, zoom back, buy some food, zoom back to our hotel, eat, put on our clothes, go to the gig, do the gig, come back. So it was non-stop from the time we got on the plane till when we went to sleep. And you know what, back in the day, I would be so exhausted. I'd be complaining to and not so much to other people, but to myself the whole time. You know, oh my God, this is terrible. And then, you know, I'd have like a Wendy's triple burger after, you know, polish off a bottle of wine. And I took the first flight back to make it back to class at Diamond Head. So I'd probably just, you know, kind of be in a half sleep and just, you know, I'd feel awful. But this time, wow, my energy level just stayed up the whole time. I felt like I was doing work. I was running around. It was so cool. And then when I went to the bed, I just boom, fell asleep. I got a great night's sleep. So these workouts, they're pushing my envelope. They're kind of scaled. It's Crossfit.com is the main site, and the other site is Crossfit-brand-x.com. And they have a forum that gives you the workout of the day, but they scale it down to different levels of fitness so you can start where you are. So that's what I was doing. I was beginning where I was. And they use the dog metaphor, so I'm so glad there's dogs in here today. So the full-on workouts are really intense. There's guys that are like, deadlifting 300 to 400 pounds and running, like 4 miles or something like that. Heavy duty. And those are called the big dogs. D-A-U-G, dog. So that's kind of like Sally's dog over there. And then they got the pack, the porch, and the puppies. So right now, and the puppy's kind of like that kind of dog over there. So right now, I'm at the beginning of the puppy level. Well, actually, I'm getting toward the top of the puppy level. But it's like, but it's still intense, and it's still pushing my envelope. Because, with this hip thing, I thought I could walk, but I never thought I'd run anymore. So now, all the cardio workouts are all running and never walking. So I'm running, and I'm digging it, and it feels great. My hip isn't bothering me at all. And I'm doing stuff like pull-ups. I can do about 1 or 2 now, but they have progressions where you can leave your feet on the ground. And so you just work up to it. And so this big dog level, that's like the long-term goal. So I'm keeping that in mind. It's really inspiring me. So, it's great. So I encourage you to join me. If anybody's interested in talking to me about meditation or CrossFit or zone diet or whatever you want to talk to me about, I'm here most Sundays, as most of you know. And I think my phone number is maybe on the bulletin, and my email is dandelegro@me.com. So send me an email. Or just grab me after the service.
And you're on Facebook.
And I'm like, oh, thank you, of course. I'm on Facebook. So I encourage you to join me, and just always remember that you are divine spiritual beings, and we are all here to express spirit. And set that intention, keep that intention in every aspect of our lives. Start where we are, push the envelope, set the long-term goals, and go for it.
Hey,
Namaste.
thank you.